What if there were a battery capable of lasting longer than your lifetime, your children's, and even generations beyond that? A single energy source that could keep working for centuries without ever needing to be recharged. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, but it's very real. Welcome to the fascinating world of nuclear batteries. For many years, these remarkable power sources remain largely hidden from public attention, serving only highly specialized roles in scientific research and deep space exploration. Today, however, advances in technology are bringing them back into the spotlight. If you've ever imagined a future where devices operate for decades without charging, or wondered how long-term space missions, satellites, and autonomous systems might be powered, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll explore the history of nuclear batteries, the innovations driving their development, and the possibilities they could unlock in the years ahead. The technologies emerging today may fundamentally transform our understanding of long-term energy generation. The beginnings of nuclear batteries. Nuclear batteries, often referred to as beta-voltaic batteries, are not a new invention. In fact, researchers have been developing them for decades. Despite their impressive longevity, their use has historically been limited because they generated only very small amounts of electricity, typically in the microwatt range, or 1/1,000,000th of a watt. Such low output restricted them to highly specialized devices and sensors. One example comes from the Chinese company Betavolt, which has been experimenting with radioactive nickel isotopes. Its nuclear battery is designed around a radioactive material with an approximate 100-year half-life, allowing it to generate electricity for nearly a century. The drawback is that its output is only about 100 microwatts, an amount so small that it could power only very low-energy electronics. In the United States, City Labs has focused on batteries powered by tritium, a radioactive form of hydrogen with a half-life of roughly 12 years. These batteries are dependable and long-lasting, but they remain suitable primarily for applications that require extremely low levels of power. Meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, Arclight has been developing carbon-14-based nuclear batteries. Thanks to the long half-life of carbon-14, these devices could theoretically continue producing energy for thousands of years, potentially up to 5,000 years or more. However, the same challenge remains. Their electrical output is exceptionally small, measured only in microwatts, which limits their practical use to niche applications. Across the Atlantic, the British company Arclight has been working with carbon-14, creating devices that may last a staggering 5,000 years. The trade-off output's so low, it's measured in microwatts. These early nuclear batteries shine in one area: longevity. Imagine sensors buried deep under Antarctic ice, probes drifting in space, or scientific stations in hostile climates. Changing the battery is impossible, so you use one that effectively never runs out. That's where these small button cell-sized nuclear devices found their role. But outside of those extreme scenarios, their limited power output made them curiosities, not contenders. From microwatts to watts, something has changed in the last few years. Companies are no longer satisfied with tiny trickles of nuclear energy. They're trying to scale up. One strategy is stacking. Instead of relying on a single microwatt cell, multiple units are combined to reach higher voltages and usable power levels. For example, the company Infinite Power filed a patent describing a nuclear battery roughly the size of a cubic meter with a power output approaching 3 watts. It may not sound like much, but compared to earlier devices, it's a giant leap. Betavolt also claims its miniature cells can be combined to generate outputs from a few microwatts to several watts. While technical details remain scarce, the concept makes sense. Even a few watts would be enough to power long-lasting sensors, remote communication equipment, or small monitoring stations. Picture a weather beacon in Antarctica, quietly transmitting data for decades, or a wildlife camera that keeps recording without anyone ever replacing its battery. These aren't science fiction anymore. They're the logical next steps as nuclear battery technology grows beyond its microwatt roots. Heat into power. If small nuclear cells can only deliver microwatts to a few watts, how do you go bigger? The answer is to stop trying to harvest charged particles directly and instead use what radioactivity produces in abundance: heat. This is the principle behind radioisotope thermoelectric generators, better known as RTGs. RTGs work by placing a heat-generating radioactive material like plutonium-238 or strontium-90 inside a container and surrounding it with thermoelectric materials. These materials exploit the temperature difference between the hot, radioactive core and the cooler outside environment, turning heat into electricity. It's a clever, elegant way to bypass the problem of semiconductor damage from radiation while delivering much more usable power. NASA began deploying RTGs in the 1960s, and they quickly became indispensable. The Voyager probes, the Curiosity rover on Mars, and the New Horizons spacecraft all rely on RTGs. These systems typically produced hundreds of watts, enough to power instruments, communications, and heating systems on long missions far from the sun. The Soviet Union also embraced RTGs, installing them in remote navigation beacons and unmanned stations across Siberia. Yet, RTGs have their darker side. Abandoned units have been scavenged in remote regions, sometimes with tragic consequences. People seeking warmth from the heat sources without realizing the deadly radiation inside. Despite the risks, the principle remains powerful. Modern startups are now re-engineering RTGs with safer materials, compact designs, and higher efficiency. By harnessing heat rather than fragile electronics, RTGs represent the bridge between tiny nuclear cells and the kilowatt-scale future. Startups and military interest. In recent years, nuclear battery development has moved out of the hands of space agencies and government labs and into the fast-paced world of startups. This shift is crucial because startups are agile, willing to experiment, and often push technology toward real-world applications that larger institutions might hesitate to pursue. And among their most interested customers, the military. Take Xenopower, for example. This American startup has patented a new class of compact radioisotope thermoelectric generators. Their designs shrink the size of traditional RTGs, while still delivering between 10 and 100 watts of reliable power. Xeno highlights peaceful uses like satellites, seafloor monitoring stations, and scientific equipment in remote regions. But it's difficult to ignore the military implications. A drone powered by such a generator could operate for weeks or months without refueling, providing surveillance and communication far beyond current limits. NDB, or nanodiamond batteries, has also expanded its vision. Once focused solely on tiny beta-voltaic cells, the company now plans medium-sized RTGs, with outputs ranging from single watts to several kilowatt. They market these as solutions for off-grid communities, space habitats, and even localized heating systems. But again, defense applications are clear. Small nuclear power sources that are silent, reliable, and maintenance-free are exactly what armed forces desire for remote bases or autonomous systems. Other music players like how industries are even experimenting with microreactors, miniaturized nuclear plants capable of generating kilowatts to megawatts. Whether used for space colonies, disaster relief, or underground bunkers, the line between civilian and military use remains razor-thin. The future of nuclear batteries. The future of nuclear batteries is shaping up to be both ambitious and disruptive. For most of their history, these devices existed only at the margins, good for powering sensors, spacecraft, or instruments buried in places humans could never reach.